Welcome to another video. My peptides finally got delivered. So in this video I will be breaking down my insane weight loss protocol that I will be doing starting today and tomorrow. My plan is to go to finally single digit body fat. I have never been there, not even close. So I will be doing this ridiculous protocol to achieve that in only a few weeks. So I don't recommend you to do this, it's gonna be insane. But I will break it down and you will see why it makes sense in my case. So firstly we need to start with my protocol and what has changed since the last video. So I put the trend back in. I increased the testosterone by 50% to 440 milligrams a week. I might even be decreasing this because there is not much point of running more testosterone when I'm cutting, because now when I reduce the calories, I won't be building any extra muscle anyway, so I might as well reduce the testosterone to like save money or whatever. But I will see about that. Regarding some of the other things, there is a lot of new supplements and ancillaries here that I will be explaining in a different video, because in this video I will just be explaining the weight loss protocol that I will be doing to go from currently maybe 17% body fat to about 9 to 10% body fat in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We will see exactly the timeline because now it's already 24th August and I will be properly starting tomorrow, because when I pin the reta today, it needs a day to like kick in. So it's going to kick in tomorrow. So I'm going to have not that much time because it's going to start basically 25th August and I have a tattoo on 19th September, if I remember correctly. So I basically have less than 1 month to lose all the fat that I want. And then I will have to pause for like a week until the tattoo recovers, and then another week before I can go to the gym, stuff like that. So we will see the exact situation, but let's see. Like I will explain right now why this protocol is ridiculous, and the calorie deficit might be up to 2000 calories of deficit per day. And to lose 1 kilo of fat, you need to lose 7000 calories. So let's start. Firstly, I need to adjust my current metabolism. I think currently my maintenance is about 2500 calories. So about 2000 calories I burn by doing nothing every day, and about 500 calories I burn by just going to the gym and walking every day. Like maybe 300 calories in the gym and like 200 calories walking. So that's about my maintenance right now. And I'm probably eating even more than that because I have been gaining extra weight. Some of it is probably muscle, some of it is probably not muscle. But here is my plan to go into 2000 calorie deficit. So firstly, we need to increase my energy expenditure because we don't have much room to play with if my maintenance is only 2500 calories, because for some people it's 3000, 4000, 5000. So it's pretty easy to just eat less and be in a huge deficit. But for me, if I want to do a 2000 calorie deficit, I can't just be eating 500 calories a day. That would not work. So we need to increase my energy expenditure first, and we are doing that through multiple mechanisms. So one of the things I will be doing is adding daily low intensity cardio. So this is like walking, like riding the bike, stuff like that, slowly. So your heart rate is about like 120, 130, maybe 140. And I will be doing a mix of things. So I will be walking sometimes outside when it's not too hot. Sometimes I'll be walking inside. I have a small treadmill. And sometimes I will just be going to the gym and like riding that bicycle thing. And I will be tracking on my Apple Watch the heart rate, so I can see to be in the heart rate zone of low intensity cardio, which is like what, like zone 3. I forgot exactly. But in that zone, you are basically burning all fat. And if you go too intense, then you are burning glycogen. So you would have less energy for the workout later. So this cardio would probably burn maybe 200 to 300 calories every day because it's pretty low intensity. Obviously, it's not going to burn the same calories as if I was actually doing intense cardio. But it's also not going to increase the appetite as much. It's also not going to put that much stress on the body at all. Like just walking or riding the bicycle slowly, that's not really putting any stress on the body, and it's pretty healthy. And it will be burning between 200 and 300 calories a day. But what I will also be adding to make that cardio more efficient is I will be adding yohimbine. That's a supplement, about 10 milligrams or 15 milligrams pre-workout. That supplement unlocks the fatty acids to be used as energy. It's kind of like a stimulant too. It's a natural herb from some tree in Africa or something, but it activates like the beta cells or whatever. It can even have an effect of like giving you more adrenaline. So you might even have more energy during the cardio and you will be burning more fat. So that's an amazing supplement to add for doing cardio. Regarding the other things, I will be taking cardarine. Cardarine also makes your body prefer burning fat compared to sugar for energy. So it's also useful for cardio. And I will be likely doing MOTS-C 1 milligram before doing cardio every time. MOTS-C is a peptide, makes your mitochondria more efficient, gives you more energy, and it's an amazing peptide. So I will be trying that one out. Everyone says it's amazing, so let's see if I even notice any difference. And will I be using anything else for the cardio? Probably not yet. But later, if the cut becomes hard at the end, and the last 2 weeks, I could be adding clen. I will be getting into that later in this video. So that's regarding the cardio part. I will be walking more. I will be increasing my step count because currently I'm not having that many steps. I'm doing maybe 3000, 4000 steps a day, which is not that much. So I will be increasing that probably to 10,000, 15,000 steps a day because that's really an easy way to burn more energy without getting tired, without having more appetite. Regarding the other things, the trend that I put back into the stack is also a fat burner. So people don't understand this. All the people that are like really smart about chemicals and steroids, they will be like, oh, steroids don't burn fat, which is usually true. But that's not true for tren. So tren actually increases your metabolism by about 10 to 15% via a few mechanisms. So one of the mechanisms it burns more fat is that it makes your temperature higher. So when you sleep, you are usually sweating more, you usually feel hot more of the time, because it makes, like, it slightly does the mitochondrial uncoupling thing. So it slightly makes your mitochondria less efficient at making energy, so you are producing more heat. Like your body usually tries to produce ATP to produce energy with its mitochondria from the calories that you are eating. But when your mitochondria are less efficient, then you need more calories for the same energy to be produced, and you are producing more heat as like a byproduct. So imagine, for example, if you bought light bulbs that are less efficient, they would be producing less light and more heat. So you would need more electricity to produce the same amount of light, and you will be having more heat that you don't want. But in this case, when cutting, you do want that, because my body will be wasting about 200 to 300 calories a day extra for the heat, just because of the Chen. So that's really useful for losing weight. Then the next mechanism that I will be discussing here is RETA. So RETA not only cuts your appetite, but it also activates the glucagon receptor, and that also burns about 200 calories extra per day just from activating the glucagon receptor. So that's not that much if you think about it, but it's basically 3 extra calories burned, so why not? And that's amazing. So we are already like going really up regarding how much calories I'm spending per day. So we already went from 2,500. So we are adding the 300 cardio, we are adding the 200 Reta, we are adding like 250 Chen, and we can add another 250 just from the extra steps that I will be making during the day. So we are already getting to like 3,500 calories per day expenditure. So now we have a lot more room to play with regarding just lowering calories and having a huge calorie deficit. And it's pretty easy to just eat less when you take Reta because you kill appetite. You are not hungry at all. So let's now get into that. Reta, I will be starting with 1 milligram a day, and that's like the usual dose that you start with. And last time that I did 1 milligram a day in the beginning, it destroys appetite. Like, you are not hungry at all. You can't even think about food. And even when you try eating, you just can't eat that much at all. You can eat like 40-50% less easily. So when we look into that, it's important to be careful to have a high protein intake to not lose any muscle. So for me, it's pretty easy because I'm on steroids, and it's really hard to lose muscle on steroids even when you don't eat, because your body is in this anabolic state all the time and it doesn't want to lose muscle. But we need to be conscious about protein intake. So, and also what we need to keep in mind is carb intake pre and post workout. So this is really important if I want to have the same strength and energy in the gym as usual. So I will be having 2 meals a day, same as now. I have about 2 meals a day, and I will be having both of those meals basically before and after the gym. So the first meal will be before the gym, and the second meal after the gym. Maybe both of them will be in a maybe 4-hour window, 5-hour window at most, and the rest of the time I will be either intermittent fasting or I will be just drinking protein shakes. So I'm planning to drop the calories to about 1,500. So that's not even like, that's pretty easy, and that's what would happen without even tracking it. Like, just taking the Reta, my appetite will drop at least 40%. So the calories would easily drop from 2,500 to 1,500. And what that will do is, even if I wasn't doing any of the cardio, I would be losing fat anyway. But when we are going into this extreme deficit of about 2,000 calories a day, I will be losing fat at a crazy rate. So I will be losing fat, like, I can lose these 6-7 kilos of fat in like a month, which is ridiculous. So how am I going to preserve all the muscle? Basically, when you're on Shen blocks the cortisol receptor, the glucocorticoid receptor, and you can't really lose muscle because that receptor is usually what makes your body lose muscle, because when you don't eat, your cortisol usually goes up, and then that can break down your muscle. But when you're on Shen and that receptor is blocked, you can't lose muscle. So that's pretty easy. Regarding the other things, I also, even last time when I was taking the Reta, I have the strength, because on steroids, you keep an insane amount of glycogen retention even when you don't eat. So when you're natural and you start eating a lot less, your muscles become flat. Your muscles are not holding as much glycogen, not as much water, and then you start losing energy. And then it's pretty easy to lose muscle, because when you are less strong and you are doing weaker workouts, it's pretty easy to lose muscle. But when you are on steroids, your muscles still keep all of that glycogen as before, even when you are not eating much at all. As long as you eat carbs before a workout and after the workout, your muscles will be full of glycogen. You will not be flat, and you will have the same strength and energy during workouts, which is amazing. Now, obviously, I don't know how all of this would look if I actually got like crazy lean, like 5% body fat, like people before a competition. Then it becomes hard. But what now I'm talking about is going from 17% to 10%. Like, you can do that even naturally. Like, that's not a crazy transformation of like, ooh, you need to like not eat anything at all and do cardio all day and like take 50 fat burners. Like, it's not like that. To go from 17% to 10% body fat, you can do that naturally, easily. I know a lot of people who did that, so that's not a huge deal at all, and that's why I can be this extreme with the deficit. If I was going from 10% to 5%, it would be a completely different story, because if going from 10% to 5%, I was doing a huge caloric deficit like this, I would be losing muscle, even on Shen. But when I'm going from 17 to 10, it's impossible to lose muscle, because the body is pretty comfortable as long as you are above like 8 or 9% body fat. As long as you're above that, your body is pretty comfortable. There is not that many issues. Even if you're natural, you could be doing an extreme cut from like 17% to 12%, you could do a deficit of 1,000 calories, you would not be losing any muscle. So it's nothing crazy. Like people might think like, oh my God, you're not eating anything, you will be like feeling like shit and stuff. That would be true if I was actually like getting shredded to like 5% body fat. But since I'm not, as long as the body is above 10% body fat, it feels amazing. So it should be no issue. We need to break down some of the other things in the protocol. Let me see here if there is anything I forgot. So regarding the clen, I want to address that. So clen is a fat burner, and usually people are scared of it, and I would also tell you that it's like not good at all, because it can increase your heart rate. Like your resting heart rate and heart rate when you're sleeping would be increased. But there is a way to mitigate this, because clen activates the beta 2 receptors that are in the fat cells to burn fat while doing nothing. And it would burn about 300 calories of fat per day, which is not that much, but it's useful if you are like already really, really lean and you have that stubborn fat that's really hard to get rid of. And the issue with clen is that beta 2, it's probably not that selective, so it also activates beta 1 regarding the heart, and then your heart rate goes up. But there is an easy way to fix this, which is to take nebivolol at the same time. Nebivolol is a selective beta 1 receptor blocker, so it blocks the receptor in the heart that the clen would activate, and then your heart rate doesn't increase. So you are burning fat by activating the beta 2 receptors in the fat cells, but you are not activating anything in the heart, so the heart is still the same as before. So regarding that, that's a really, really smart thing that a lot of people are doing in prep competition. But am I gonna need this? Maybe not. Like, actually, probably not, because when you're going from 17% body fat to 10% body fat, as I told you, that's not hard on the body. Like, I'm not going to be struggling to lose that fat in any way. But if I was going from 10 to 5, then I would need to use clen. But going from 70 to 10, arguably, I don't even need to use the clen, because the metabolism is not slowing down when you are going to like 10% body fat. That's not really a thing, because it's still a healthy body fat percentage to be at. So yeah, I don't think I will actually need to do that, but if I really wanted to like quicken things up even more, I could be doing the clen. The thing with clen is that you can only, like, you can't really use it for a long time, because the beta 2 cells in fat cells, they kind of get like resistant to it over time, and then you need to like let them reset. So you would need to be using like 20 micrograms a day at the beginning for like 2 weeks, then you need to increase to 40 for 2 weeks, and then you need to increase to 60 for 2 weeks if you really wanted to like do it properly, because the fat cells, the beta 2 receptors in the fat cells, like they get pretty like resistant in like a few weeks. So then it stops working. So you can either increase the dose or just stop using it. Regarding some of the other things here, I think that's everything regarding the fat loss. So I will be increasing the calorie expenditure to like 3,500 and decreasing the calories to like 1,500. Most of those calories that I will be intaking are just protein and carbs around the workout. So the protein will just prevent muscle loss, and the carbs are gonna keep giving me energy for the workouts and keep me looking full, and generally just keep me looking great, feeling great. So that's really important. And also I do something that's called carb cycling. So on the days that I have a workout, during the workout, I drink a drink that's like 700, 800 milliliters, and it has like 20 or 30 or 40 grams of sugar inside. And basically on those workout days, that extra sugar is really useful for filling the muscles back up with glycogen. But on the days that I'm not working out, I don't drink that. So then I'm not like wasting those calories by taking the sugar when I don't need it. But during the workout, I need it, so I drink it. So that's like really useful to do if you want a strategy to like intake even less calories and have even more energy for workouts. So that's something useful you could copy. Regarding the other things, yeah, I think that's pretty much it regarding the main drivers of the fat loss. I will be optimizing things, obviously. Like I might find that some form of cardio doesn't really work for me because I just don't like it or whatever, and then I replace it with something else. But in general, I will just be more physically active regarding the low intensity cardio stuff, like walking, riding a bicycle, stuff like that, just to burn extra calories without putting any stress on the body. And also it's going to improve my cardio, because my cardio is not that good, and it would be really smart to improve my cardio. So that would be really great. Yeah, the video is already 17 minutes. I think that has been it regarding the fat loss protocol. So I will be updating you on this. I will probably be like posting Instagram stories about this when I'm doing it, and I will be posting progress pictures, obviously. So I'm probably starting the cardio and stuff like that tomorrow, because today I need to reconstitute the peptides. I need to like take the ret and wait for it to kick in, stuff like that. But we will see. Also, one thing to keep in mind, like it's daily fasted cardio, so I can't be eating before doing this cardio, because that would render a lot of the stuff I'm taking useless, because the yohimbine, like it gets deactivated by insulin. So if you eat anything or any like calories, whatever, any sugar, like if you spike your insulin, it's gonna render the yohimbine useless. So you need to be doing this fasted. Like you do this like first thing in the morning when you wake up. You just go for a walk or go to the gym to ride a bicycle, whatever. And that's the best way to do this, because then you're just burning the fat, and the yohimbine can actually do its job of unlocking the fat cells. Because when insulin is high in the blood, the fat cells can't be used for energy. You need to keep that in mind. So if you want to burn extra fat, you should be doing daily fasted cardio. But during the workout, you do want to intake like sugar and carbs, because for the workout, you want to be using glycogen to be stronger instead of fat, because fat makes more sense to use for the low intensity cardio stuff, and for workouts, it makes more sense to use carbs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. In the next video, I will be explaining my current protocol, and I will be making a few more videos right now. I'll be batch recording.